welcome to the Nostalgia Killers podcast, where we revisit films from our youth to see if they still hold up or should be inserted into the great DVD player in the sky. I am Luc Londe, joined once again, almost as always, by Chuck Starzenski.
Oh, what a beautiful night. You know, the stars are out, the carpet is red, it does match the drapes. Just so excited to be here during award season.
Joined almost as always and as much Javier Martinez.
I am he, the man, the legend himself. The guy who pisses people off sometimes with controversial...
The foil, the villain,
yes.
the villain of the show.
Ever the contrarian.
That's right. And this is our end of year award show.
Woo!
Where we thank everybody for listening and we tell you what we think instead of listening to you.
Yeah.
Which is what we do anyways. So,
holy shit, we're still doing this, guys?
Another year in the bag.
Technically third year we're doing this now.
Yeah.
Do you want to start with the cocktail?
Yeah, before we kick things off, first of all, a toast. Today, we are drinking the second season Spritz.
Let's toast over the new gear.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh. So for a second season Spritz, we've got an ounce of R5 hop-flavored whiskey by Charbet Distilling Company. Woo. Thank you, Charbet.
Wow.
Half an ounce of Falernum, 3 dashes of Angostura bitters, 3 dashes of peychards bitters, and a splash of sparkling wine. Stir the liquors and bitters together over ice, then strain and top with sparkling. Toast to our upcoming third season.
That's right. What'd you say, the Falernum? What's that?
Falernum?
Falernum?
Yeah,
What's
so
that?
it's like without...
Is it bitters?
It's like basically like it can be non-alcoholic or alcoholic. This one is alcoholic, but it's basically like a tropical liqueur essentially, or tropical flavored spicing blend that basically seasons a lot of like tiki drinks and stuff like that. And this is kind of like a riff on a super old school whiskey cocktail that was actually Al Capone's favorite drink, supposedly. Which I did not look into, and I did lick into it. I did not look into it though, so that could be a bunch of bullshit.
Was it on the internet?
Yes.
We're gonna stick with it then.
There we are. That is 100% true then.
And as it's our end of year show, we don't really do any movie in particular. We're going to take a look back at our second year.
A year in review, if you will.
So let's go ahead and start with our what we think our best film was, or the best film that we reviewed in season 2.
Sure. I've got an interesting choice because it was one that I had not seen.
Right.
That Luke, you introduced Chuck and I to it.
We're going to have the same one.
Yeah, is it really?
Yeah, I think so.
Whoa, okay, so mine was The Wraith.
The Wraith.
The Wraith.
Hey.
Not yet released on the podcast.
I know. I was wondering, should I mention that?
Yeah. No, I was going to mention it here. It is a Patreon exclusive show, which will be. I'm going to put it back on at the top of the list. So maybe we can drive some people to look at our Patreon, which is very inexpensive. I forget the tiers now. I think it's $1 and $3, but it's also you get a 7-day free trial. So you can look at all of our dirty shit.
Yeah.
And then just leave us. Just quit.
Come smell our dirty laundry. Listen to Luke's favorite film. Listen to Javi's favorite film. And then, you know what? Drop us like a hot sack of shit.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I had to have that one on there just because, again, it was not even something that was on my radar.
And I think the reason I picked it was because you liked it so much too, and I was so happy that you liked it. Oh,
that's awesome! Yeah, no, because
everyone was really happy and enthusiastic about that one. I fucking love that.
Yeah, it was, and it was just such a pleasant surprise. And again, not even on my radar, but I was like, wow, like how did I not even hear about this at all? Like, it was just such a fun time. It was like great. It was something I hadn't really seen before, and not the movie itself, obviously, but just like what happens in the film. It's just, it's great.
Had lots of character and story, and someone really died, and like all kinds of.
Charlie Sheen was on set for a whole 6 hours.
Super sweet cars. Like I love cars, man. So it just it was fun. It was a little. It was a blast. So I really have to thank you for turning me on that one.
I appreciate that you liked it, man. Now that we've talked that up so much, let's hear what Chuck has to say.
Yeah. My favorite, I went for the lowest of hanging fruit. So low, it's just dragging on the ground. Very, very much dragging, so almost rolling, almost like a bowling ball. I went with The Big Lebowski.
Right on.
Just because, that's
That was a fun one too.
such a great movie. Holds up. Aged like a fine wine. I still come back to it every time and find new things to laugh about and pick apart. And also, beautiful transition into best episode. Not my favorite episode necessarily, but it was such a fun episode to do. It was so fun to do it with Sam too, and see how elated he was to talk about it.
And talk.
That
was, I think that was high in the running for our longest episode outside of Fight Club. I think it's like close to 3 hours.
Anytime you get that boy on, it's, the mic just unfortunately doesn't get cut.
For my best episode, I had Blade. I had the most fun with Blade, I think,
Nice.
with all the people on the show.
Hey, we're twinsies. I had Blade as well.
Nice.
Wow, Night of Twinsies. I like it. Let's see how long we can keep this going, guys.
I know. Yeah, Blade was just, oh, God. It was also just like, it's one thing that's like we do this show so frequently that it's a lot of times the energies in the room are like, you either got to like lift everybody up to your level or you got to rise up to theirs. And that was one where we all just came in so excited to talk about Wesley Snipes.
Drunk
Cutting CGI vampires in half. It's like everyone had a little bit too. Like Robert was also so excited to be on that episode. Thank you, Robert, for just, bringing in the comic book lore and everything. Great time. Go back, listen to that one with, listen to it. Listen to the special features on Patreon. I'm going to plug that again really quick. But
Yeah.
Nice. So I'll be the odd man out this time, and I'll go with my best episode, which maybe some of you guys saw coming, was the Addams Family Values.
Yeah.
I was going to say, you better have 3 values.
Yes, it was. It was.
Oh
Just,
my God.
I got to, what do we call it?
You got to
Get really close and intense with to death.
To death. Yeah, you
AKA
almost died that
Taylor
night.
Diffender for love you. Thank you so much for not for allowing me to live even after all the according to you blasphemy that I spoke about Addams Family Values. But no, it was fun just because again it's nice to be sometimes the one guy in the room who's like, oh, like I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get the love for this. I respect it and I like hearing everybody's opinions about it. But there's some devilish fun to be had there.
You were very cordial up until like that 1.5 hour mark.
Yeah. You were, you took it in stride.
And then you turned on everybody and it was awesome.
It was an hour and a half of you being the beach ball at a graduation celebration and just getting like everyone just getting so excited just to punt you back up in the air.
Yeah, that was a blast.
Yeah, that was great. Worst episode? I had a difficult time with this one. I don't really have a one that I don't like or.
So I'm going worst episode. I'm not, and also to be fair, please support our show. Please listen to every episode. I'm going worst episode not because of the actual content, but by the context of how it was recorded.
Okay.
Which I'm wondering if Javi had the same feeling. But our worst episode, in my opinion, was The Descent.
Oh yeah.
Because it was 115 degrees out that day. I'm not exaggerating. It literally was one of those record-breaking summer days. No one wanted to record the episode.
Yeah.
2 of the 4 guests had not seen it until literally an hour and a half before the recording of the episode.
But we still love them.
We still love them. Shout out Martinez family. Thank you very much. Thank you for supporting us. Addie, you're amazing. This has nothing to do with you, Addie. You are perfect. You are a golden child that we bow to every day. We have a shrine, and we build shrines to all of our Patreon executive producers, and we only have one, so there's only one very massive shrine. But yeah, still super fun to do. And it was one of those we came around kind of episodes. But I just remember it was trying to steer that ship was rough. It was like, hey, welcome to Nostalgia Killers podcast. So tell me, what are your feelings and thoughts on this film? I have none. Oh, why? I didn't want to be here today. Just
well, as someone who wasn't here and also didn't edit that show, it sounded great. I still had fun listening to you guys talking about it. I still haven't seen The Descent.
No,
so getting to hear you guys talk about it, it was very it was still fun. I listened to it as everyone should.
How about you guys?
For mine, I had Cabin Fever.
Yeah, just the 2 of us.
And I think, and again, I don't think it has us. It being just us 2 did have some effect on it, but I think that's only because it was you still liked it and I didn't. Whereas I think if it had been, if we had more people there that day and we had a little bit more input on it,
could have had a real fight.
Yeah. I think, where it was you and I weren't going to spar over it, but I think if we had other competitors there, that might have spiced things up a little bit. And again, just because I was on the side of I didn't really like it. That's kind of, it was a double whammy for me. I also think that's the first day that we started having issues with our mics.
Oh yeah.
So I think that's the first day that you and I really noticed them. We were like, "What is going on? Like this sounds like ugh." Like,
but we pushed through it. I also had a funky little cold, so I was also just like hacking up a lung while the mics were also like scratchy. It was, I don't know. I think it was all part of the cabin fever aesthetic.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it was actually around the same time that we did the descent too. So it was probably still hot that day, and just it was a bummer. I was looking forward to it, but I think that's...
I do appreciate you guys' work, but I was in New York where it was 70 degrees and beautiful out.
Yeah, it was sticky and icky this October.
And they on their news there, they were talking about our heat wave here. It was that bad. I had a hard time picking, so I just picked the Three Ninjas.
Hell yeah.
That was just for like, oh my God, I have to watch the Three Ninjas again. And that's the only reason. I had a blast doing it with you guys, but yeah, that's it.
That's a beautiful transition into worst movie, because my worst movie was Three Ninjas. Yeah, it is aged like milk. It is clearly made for children.
I thought we were doing worst movie.
Oh, I thought we were doing worst episode.
We were doing worst episode.
Oh, you did them backwards.
Well, you said worst episode.
Worst movie for me, Three Ninjas. Just because I had to watch it again.
Yeah.
So
bad.
We both picked the same one again.
Yeah.
Did we cheat? Did we?
Now wait, are we on worst episode?
I don't have a worst episode.
We don't know how to run a podcast, you guys.
Clearly. What was your least favorite movie?
Worst movie. Okay, my worst movie, and I'm ready.
There's a lot of them.
I'm ready, Luke. But it's gonna be Smoking Aces.
Okay.
Oh,
Smoking Aces, yeah.
worse than Three Ninjas.
Yes, because at least with Three Ninjas, I got to like laugh at like how dumb, like how bad it was. There's one of those I got to be like, like no way, I can't believe I like this. Like
Yeah, I don't expect everyone to like it. But
Smoking Aces at least had like bibs, like hot bibs shooting guns and stuff. And then Three Ninjas has a fucking 20-minute basketball match that goes nowhere.
But that's so funny. And I'm sorry. It had to be, because that was one of those where, I was already lukewarm going into it, but I thought, maybe there's something to it. And
yeah,
maybe I just, didn't get it, back way when I saw it. And I thought, this time around I'd get it. And I just still didn't. So I think it's the...
I wonder if you're just not hot on ensemble movies.
I wonder if you're just not hot on films shot on location in South Lake Tahoe.
I haven't been to Lake Tahoe all year. Maybe I'm just, bitter about that. I don't know, but sorry.
Yeah, it's all good.
Speaking of bad opinions, what would you guys redact? Is there anything you said on the podcast you really wish you didn't?
I stand by all my hot takes. and all of your guys's too.
Yeah, I had one which... minor spoiler into some stuff we'll talk about later, and I don't remember the exact phrasing of what I said, but it was definitely something along the lines of like Guy Pearce will never ever be good in anything ever, something like that. I definitely gave him a lot of hate. I don't know if I remember if I specifically said that he would never be good, like he's just not good ever. But I'm gonna have to retract that because I saw him in something recently, and he was in no way the highlight of the film for me. But I did see him, and I was like, oh,
that's a very brutal opinion of you.
It sure is. And I was like, yeah, you know what? Okay. I don't hate you. I just don't like you. So I'll retract that.
Fair enough. Yeah, I would redact nothing because I redact it all because this season I have taken on most of the editing. So I have been the puppet master.
Oh, yeah.
So anytime I say something remotely stupid or sexist or taken out of context, then I'm just like, you know what? What if we just didn't say that? So you know what? I'll give you guys a point here. I'll say something that I can't edit out right now. I just watched Whiplash for the first time last night. Shout out Juan Martinez.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah, not my tempo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And hot take, I was the entire movie, like literally, I'm not exaggerating. You can ask my wife, Lauren, 5 minutes in, I was like, did they fuck? Instantly. I was like, do J.K. Simmons and
Miles Teller,
do they have intercourse in this film? And then she's like, she's like, I don't want to spoil anything, but like kind of basically like, and I was like, okay. And then like it kept like, I was just like, it kept pushing like the fucking sub-dom like relationship that they have. And it kept getting to a point where I was just like, I literally like halfway through the movie, I got frustrated. I was like, Lauren, if they don't have intercourse, or if Miles Teller doesn't fucking kill him, then I'm turning this movie off. And then, spoiler alert for Whiplash. In a way, they kind of do fuck at the end there. That little concert they play is, there's a lot. It's literally dripping with bodily fluids. So, yeah.
I didn't know we could pick movies that weren't on our.
Oh no, that was just I needed something I could redact.
You hated it that much, huh?
Oh no, I loved it. Whiplash was great. I understand. It's like I feel like the guy who
I love it.
Yeah. There's so many things like that where it's like, the beauty of this podcast is we get a chance to talk about these things, but there's so many things where you're like, you see something a decade later and you're like, oh, this is amazing. This is all I care about right now. I can't talk about this with anyone. This happened to the public 10 years ago. It's like, yeah, Chuck, we know The Mask is a good movie. It's like, okay, but like Jim Carrey though, he's like spot on. It's like, yeah. Did you just see The Mask?
So what section are we doing next?
What movie was ruined for you guys by doing this podcast? What film did you like, maybe not put on a pedestal, but you were just like, oh yeah, like, duh, that's a classic. And then we watched it and we were like, oh no.
I'll use Whiplash as a segue into mine. Again, shout out Javier Martinez, but it was Jingle All the Way.
Yeah.
Again, it wasn't on a pedestal for me, but I definitely remember being like, yeah, that was a cool movie. Like, and I actually thought I would enjoy it more now, like just appreciating, like, I don't know, like
the camp of it or
like,
something.
The camp of it, like Christmas. I don't know, looking back on like Arnie being silly. Like, I don't know, like I just, and then just to see it and be like, oh, this is rough.
Yeah, I would say that what made that movie even worse for me was learning how much he was paid. It was just one of those where I'm like, whoa, you're making like 3 times the amount of Sinbad and like Phil Hartman combined, and you're not bringing anything to the table.
Yeah. More than a third of the film's budget.
Exactly. How about you, Luke?
There was one movie that I had on a pedestal for a long time that watching it with new eyes, as I watched it for the podcast, I watched it with the idea that some of the people I'd be talking with hadn't seen it. And then I kind of like went like, oh, but it was Rushmore.
Oh.
Wow.
I still really like it, but like watching it with other people who hadn't seen it and may have not have grown up with it the way I did kind of made me look at it in a gross way.
Whoa. Did not expect that.
Yeah. So you guys ruined Rushmore for me.
You're welcome.
Welcome to Nostalgia Killers, baby.
Yeah,
that's what we do.
Right? Yep.
Yeah, my movie that was absolutely ruined was Robin Hood Men in Tights, because I had grew up watching it and was like, oh, it's fucking hilarious. And like it would play reruns all the time on TBS or something like that. And just like, oh yeah, like you're flipping through and you're like, oh, Robin Hood Men in Tights is on. I'll watch the Chastity Belt scene. That's hilarious. Flash forward to 2024. It's all of a sudden, Chastity Belt scene, not so hilarious. And then it being like one of those classic, like just the shtick getting pile drived into the ground, where it got to like, I got 3/4 through the film and I was just like, oh, dude, I can't take another fourth wall breaking Mel Brooks wink wink right now. I'm like, dude, I get it. We did this joke 9 times already.
I was wondering why you were bagging on it during the episode so much.
Yeah, I did enjoy it. Because it's very much, it's like watching a Bugs Bunny cartoon. It's fun.
It's Mel Brooks,
but it's Mel Brooks, and to be fair to Mr. Brooks, it's not the best Brooks. Maybe that's a hot take.
I think that's high anxiety. You ever seen that one?
Oh, I thought you were saying I have high anxiety. I am hyperventilating right now. I do, I do languish myself for your approval at all times. So the fact that you're looking at me with disdain, I am hyperventilating a little bit.
Nice.
But no, I actually have not seen high anxiety.
Okay, he's got some duds, some real duds.
Yeah,
from the 60s and 70s. But I get what you're saying. That's totally valid. What's next?
What movies surprised you guys? What did we revisit / watch for the first time, or maybe the last time that you were like, oh, you know what? I walked in waiting to hate this movie, and it's actually a blast.
You know what I was blindsided by, but I should have known, was that Javi wouldn't like Addams Family Values.
Oh.
That was like, and he fucking led me on through like most of the episode too, because I wasn't there for it, so I had to listen to it afterwards, and it's like, fucking dark turn, act 3 dark turn, like, oh god, what? You bring this up now?
Yeah.
No, but that was great. It was great. Everyone was like, you can hear it. Like it's just
The
fucking-
audible gasp.
Yeah, it's fucking
yeah.
awesome. But that surprised the shit out of me.
Well, I'm glad I did that for you.
Yeah.
One that surprised me, I wasn't like walking in like ready to hate it or anything like that. I just based on the title and like very brief synopsis that I'd seen, like I just kind of quote knew it wasn't really like a film for me. Like, oh my god, this isn't like really up my alley. But the podcast was The Adventures of Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
Yeah. That movie is insane.
And it was fucking amazing. And it was one of those where, like, again, like, not that I am closed off at all or anything like that, but just one of those like reminders of like, dude, like, you just got to check shit out sometimes, because like, if I'd seen that, like, I never would have picked it up, and maybe just because I can't immediately tell that it's the fabulous Hugo Weaving like on the cover or anything like that.
Right.
Maybe if I saw that, I might be more inclined to be like, oh shit,
It's got your Guy Pearce in there.
yeah, it's got.
I was going to say, I understand why you stayed away.
Yeah, but I'm glad that I did.
Gotta get over that, man.
Yeah,
Gotta get over that shit.
But I was surprised by how much like I loved it, and how long after the episode it stuck, like it was still in my mind.
Sure.
Like I did talk to it like a couple people like later, like in the weeks like following that, like, hey, like, by the way, have you ever seen this movie? Because I saw it recently and it's fucking great.
Mm-hmm. That's why I try to show everyone that I meet Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
Sure, yeah.
Like it's just a fucking good movie, no matter where you stand. Yeah. I mean, on any of the lines, it's just a fucking good movie.
Yeah.
Like,
thank you so much, Julia. Shout out to you, Julia, for putting us in that movie.
yeah.
Yeah, I have a 3-way tie. I have.
Here we go.
Well, I mean, I just want to like shout out to
No, you're
Priscilla because I hadn't seen it prior to the podcast and it was amazing. So it surprised me in that sense. Same thing with. I'm Team Wraith, okay? I was never not Team Wraith.
He just wants to fit in now.
So, yeah, exactly.
Okay, Chuck.
Always. So, yeah, The Wraith was great. Like, that movie's amazing. Super fun, super campy. But my movie that actually surprised me was Joe's Apartment. I picked that movie out of sheer, like, oh, this is actually, like, if we want to do a Nostalgia Killers episode, this is a Nostalgia Killers episode. Like, I saw this
Right.
film as a, like, way younger than I should have seen it. I saw it like as like a 10-year-old or something like that and was just like, oh, haha, talking cockroaches. This is amazing. And then I remember watching the trailer for it and just cringing the entire time, being like, ooh, this is going to be a tough hang. This is going to not be any fun. And then was absolutely let down / elated that I have not matured past 10 years old. And I was like, this movie is incredible, actually. This movie actually is really funny. And the only thing that's annoying me are like the fact that everybody's doing like a Chipmunks level voice.
Yeah.
But otherwise I was like, wait a minute. The movie about the talking cockroaches has good writing and like really well thought out stop motion like sequences. And like some of the cinematography is like, it's very like film school, but I was like, this motherfucker went to film school? Like it was one of like the guy who made the cockroach movie went to film school. He's doing things that like you study in class.
Yeah.
Amazing.
What's next? 10 years?
Yeah. So in 10 years, when it is eligible, what film would you nominate from 2024, the year of our Lord, to be a Nostalgia Killers episode?
Smoking Aces. I genuinely wrote that down.
Smoking
Did you
Aces
really?
Revisited.
Before I knew you were
I
going to
thought
go
you were
on about
talking-
it. Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, I'm not.
I'm just like, just digging it in right now for the fun of it.
I think I'm gonna sit that episode out. Luke, I'll remind you in 10 years.
All right. But yeah, that's, I mean, that's the reason. Like, I'm curious to what I'm going to see what I'm going to think about it in 10 years. I might hate it. I might not get it. I might be like tired of it, whatever.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so I had a film that I watched this year on here. So I had Dee Dee. I don't know if you guys saw Dee Dee yet.
I did not see DD.
No.
I want to see DD.
Yeah. So it's great. So basically, long story short, without giving anything away, it's just a coming of age story. Young Chinese American. I want to say Chinese American.
We can cut this out.
Okay, I think it's Chinese American. Anyways, yes, I'm pretty sure. I'm like 99%
pause
sure.
and look it up.
No,
Do you want to be safe and say Asian American and not offend anybody?
Asian American. Yes. Yes. Let's just lump them in. Chuck. That's so much better.
They love that. Yeah.
Young Asian American young boy coming to age but it's like kind of shot. It's similar to mid 90s, right? But it's like 2000s. So it was really weird because somebody pitched to me that was like, "Oh, have you seen mid 90s?" I was like, "Yeah." Like, well, it's like that, but it's like for kids my age, like who grew up into 2000s. And I was like, first of all, girl, I did not I was not expecting you to identify yourself as us kids and tell me that you grew up in the 2000s, because I am not you. I am older than you. She's like, oh, really? But anyway, so it was
Your skincare routine is amazing, by the way. You do look beautiful.
I did enjoy the movie. It was great. It was very cute, very well done. It was actually up there on my list quite a bit for favorite films of the year. Again, just because it has to do with like kind of this looking back lens to like the 2000s. And for me, and as I was watching it, that was one thing that it was initially kind of hard to get over. But once I got into the film, it was fine. But just getting over the fact that like, oh, like that's not that long ago to me. But again, there's people like my coworker were like, yeah, dude, it's 2024 or 2025 now, you know? That's like 20 years ago. I'm like, oh, shit, you know? So again, I enjoyed it, but I'm curious to see with a little more time passed if I'll have even more of a appreciation for it, you know? They talk a lot about like the early days of social media with like YouTube and like being a YouTuber and stuff like that too. So for me, again, that was still very relevant of like, well, that's like right now.
Yeah.
But it's not. So
Oh.
I think it would be an interesting one to touch once more time has passed.
All right.
Hell yeah. I would love to see it. For me, I kept it as stupid as possible. I was like, you know what? What kind of movies do we like to cover on this fucking show? I said The Beekeeper. I was like, give me a Jason Statham original property in 2024 to rewatch in 2034, and I will be so stoked.
But you could replace it with any of the movies that have come out in the past 15 years.
Oh,
The Mechanic, any of them.
But like
the Transporters.
In a world and a year of sequels, it's like, you know, it's like, because there were some thoughts that I had, like I was like, oh, Dune 2, obviously, or like, you know, the sequel to this, the sequel to that, like Deadpool Wolverine, absolutely, that fits our bill, kind of thing. Right. And I was like, what's an actual like original property though? And then I had to like actually, I was like, I got depressed because I had to dig.
Is it?
I mean, it's just Jason Statham. Yeah.
It's Jason Statham in the same movie he's been in for the past,
like you said,
20 years.
The fucking Bank Job, The Mechanic, all of the Transporter films.
He's super kung fu kill guy.
Yeah.
Who's doing a retirement job in this. It's the same in every movie.
Yeah.
I'm down. I'll watch it in 10 years.
I got one last job. It's a damn shame somebody stabbed me in the neck with a drug that keeps me hot from starting.
My biggest thing about that movie was like, there was a certain set of people who knew what a beekeeper was. And they're like, you fucked with the beekeeper? Are you stupid? And it was just like that conversation happened over and over and over again in the movie.
I don't know her name, but the second I finished, I think I texted Javi. The woman who plays the female FBI agent deserves a fucking Oscar for delivering the trite gobbledygook garbage backstory of what a beekeeper is with a straight face.
Yeah, she got out the exposition without choking on her own lines.
Exactly. Being like, they're a secret society that protects every single American.
I laughed in that film once. When the other guy, the agent, like fell in the hallway and he fell on his gun, and he's like, "Ow! I fell on my gun." Like that's what I laughed.
I laughed so much at that. Like, I had a blast.
You know what? I still haven't seen it, and I'll be honest. There's just no way that I currently like with all the films I have to I want to watch and I have to watch that I'm gonna like watch that anytime soon. So I will purposely save it for
10 years
because for 10 years from now. Even if we're not doing this show, I will be like, hey Chuck, you know what it is?
Set an alarm now.
Yeah.
It's 2034, Chuck.
It's time for the Beekeeper.
Yeah.
I stand by the Beekeeper. All right, I'm ready to do an hour on the Beekeeper right now. This all of a sudden became the longest episode we've ever recorded. But I stand by it. It's great. It almost made my top. It almost made my top 10 just because it's so fun.
Holy shit!
Wow,
it's hot garbage.
All right.
My wife has poisoned my brain.
Speaking of which, should we go on to our top 10?
Yeah.
And this will be our supersonic death monkey mega ultra end of the year top 10 movies of the year. I wrote down. I don't watch a whole lot of new movies, so I wrote down what I watched.
Hell yeah, I love that.
So they're from all kinds of years.
Well, in true Sonic Death Monkey fashion.
I think so. Yeah. Who wants to start? I don't have a number 10, so you guys should do your number 10s.
Okay. I can jump in. I have my number 10. It barely makes the cutoff. I'm going to push the glasses up. Technically, it is a feature film. It just barely makes the cutoff of a feature film. My number 10 is Rap World. by Connor O'Malley. I watched it like late at night on my phone, which is probably how it's supposed to be watched. It was like literally looking into a time portal into 2006, 2009. Like it was just like the just sheer patheticness of white men in suburbia.
I'm trying to think if have I seen this.
Like in the mid 20s or mid 2000s. So good. It's like, so quick synopsis, and I know we got a lot of fucking movies to go, so I'll just go really fast. It's like 4 dudes trying to make a hip hop album in the suburbia
We watched it here, didn't we?
We watched it here, yeah.
Yes. Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah.
It's so good. It's like pitch perfect tonally. Like it's literally it's a stand-up comedian making a Harmony Korine film is the easiest way I can sell this movie.
You weren't here, were you?
No, I wasn't here for no.
Whole thing
You
is-
got to watch this.
Yeah, it's so good. Whole thing is shot on a fucking mini DV camera. So it also like if you are a person who was making like film back then, like with handy camcorders and shit, it just like you just are like, oh, you can hear the fucking like tape hiss and you can feel the fucking camcorder getting hot in your hand. Like it's so good.
Right on.
You can hear the plastic of it like being handled and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned early YouTube too. Like the editing is just like the editing style of an early YouTube video, like just like a classic like blue screen, like Windows Movie Maker kind of like these are the lyrics to fucking Fly Away by why am I drawing a blank? Lenny Kravitz. Like that kind of level editing. It's fucking great.
Yeah. That was a good one.
I am going to be an asshole and issue a disclaimer. I'm going to push out my glasses here, my non-existent glasses, and just...
Why don't you get in the glasses club?
just let you guys know that even though I'm about to list my top 10 films, since it's not the official date of my top 10 list, I reserve the right to change this list. But it's going to be pretty accurate. Okay? Pretty accurate to my top. Yeah. It's probably going to be this, but I might lose sleep over something I said right now. And
I mean, Chuck and I don't have our guns with us, so I think you're safe.
Do you hear that, Letterboxd bros? This is not Javier Martinez's official list.
So anyways, with that being said, my number 10, I had Cuckoo, which actually knocked another number 10 that I had off the list for the exact same reasons. So that I had, which was Late Night with the Devil, because I wanted to include it just because of how much I appreciated both films, like what they were trying to do, and like, okay, this is really cool. Like I get it, and you know I can appreciate the trying to try something new, put a spin on like a horror genre, and kind of, you know, maybe do something that hasn't been done before. Except I think Cuckoo did it better. Or at least a little cleaner, not just like visually, like it does look like more like it's really beautiful the way they shot it. I'd love to look into like the technical aspects of it, but yeah, I think they stuck the landing, and it's just like a weird, like fun, good time. And again,
I saw it on. I think I saw it on someone's list, and I've been gonna check it out.
Yeah. It's for sure worth the watch.
Yeah, right on. Yeah. Well, I'll go ahead and go with my number 9 so that I'm not last, because I have a good number 1, but I'm sure you guys have better ones. So, my number 9, not quite a film, because I didn't watch too many new movies, but Cyberpunk Edgerunners. It's on Netflix. Really fucking good.
Yeah,
it's a short. I don't think they got renewed or anything, so it's like a short 1 season.
Oh
like
wait,
nine episodes.
Yes,
so it's like 9 hours long, but it's like it's good. Good anime, good like cyberpunk, good like gritty, sexy. All the people are enhanced with you know cyber stuff, so they're like dealing with it, and like eventually you like die from it. So everyone's like on their last fucking gasp. You know, it's just good. I liked it.
Nice,
good animation.
My number 9.
Or yeah, for 9. Yeah,
I have Alex Garland. You know, like another director on this list, hasn't missed yet. I got Civil War. I didn't expect it to be this high up. Like, actually, when I saw it, I was like, oh, like, I mean, it definitely grabbed me by the boo-boo when I saw it. I was like, oh, that was,
oh yeah, I forgot.
That was a hard movie to watch on my only day off. Like, I was like, I kind of wanted to relax, and now I just got to think about this. But yeah, so well done. Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, the biggest budget A24 movie ever. So more eloquent folks have spoken on it. And you can read their reviews. But yeah, just fucking great. I love how it doesn't pick a political side. I love how vague it is about everything, personally. I think that kind of adds to the story. I know that's like a big like criticism it gets, but yeah, Civil War.
Nice.
For my number 9, I had Abigail.
Hell yes.
Yeah. Again, I think I spoke about it on another episode, but it was just so fun. It was like, again, refreshing to see something that like didn't take itself seriously and kind of knew what it was. And we're just like, hey, like we're just gonna go bad shit and just have a lot of fun, and like, you know, we're gonna be winking at you the whole time, and you're gonna love it. And I'm like, and I do. And again, I just was not expecting that to be like on my list, or even when somebody first pitched it to me, was like, hey, you saw the preview for Abigail? And I'm like, yeah, that stupid movie with the Giancarlo Esposito and the little girl. I was like, yeah, dude, that movie's fucking great. I was like, what? So check it out for sure.
Right on.
Yeah, that was one that like still loved it, but I was like the trailer. I was like, well, I don't have to watch this movie because it gave away the twist.
Yeah.
But then it's like, you know what? They got the twist out of the way. Now you can just really sink your teeth in, pun intended, into a really fun campy horror movie.
Yeah.
My number 8, also not a film. We'll get into the films next. I promise. But Blue-Eyed Samurai on Netflix.
Yeah.
Fucking amazing story. Amazing. It's set in feudal Japan, but there's such like inclusiveness. That it's like modern. It's like bizarre. I don't know how else to explain it. Great story, great characters that go really fucking darker than you would expect. But yeah, Blue-Eyed Samurai.
Hell yeah.
And then they got renewed for a second season, so it's going to finish.
Oh, nice.
Because they end on a cliffhanger. Like they set up the story at the beginning, anyways, and then you know that it's not done by the end of the series. So it's like they have to do more. It's going to be fucking awesome.
It's on my list. I promise you I'm going to get
Yeah, it's all good, man. It's there. It's going to be there a long time because people love it.
My number 8. This is where the list takes a very definitive turn, and now everything is dark, moody, depressing. Which just got us 2024, baby. My number 8 is The Coffee Table. And I can't say anything more about this movie other than it is a Spanish movie about a couple who just had a newborn baby and by a coffee table. And I can't go into anything other than that. The only thing I can say that's spoiler free, it's like as if it's like a writing exercise. If Larry David wrote a super depraved Gaspar Noé movie.
Oh, wow.
So the writing, it's fucking funny. I did not expect to laugh as much as I did at a movie so bleak. This is probably one of the bleakest movies I've seen all year. And it had me in tears laughing. So, Coffee Table. Check it out if you dare. It's very much like, it is right there hovering at the like edgelord cutoff. So huge disclaimer there. Like, please don't watch The Coffee Table and then come at me and be like, dude, I watched The Coffee Table. That movie was fucked up and I hated it and I hate you now. Just know, yeah, it's hovering right there with like your Serbian films, your Cannibal Holocaust level. Like it's fucked. It's dark. But my God, I did not expect to laugh so hard.
Sounds like a dare, Harry.
Yeah. You've pitched that one before, so I thanks for the reminder. For my number 8, I had Nosferatu.
Hey.
Nice.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it was a blast. Robert Eggers doesn't miss. If I'm being 100% honest, this is my least favorite Robert Eggers movie. But again, that's not saying, it's like trying to pick my least favorite Quentin Tarantino movie, you know? It's kind of the same thing. It's like, you know, you should still go watch it. It's just, you know, I'm going to, pick 3 other films to watch before that, but you should still watch it. Yeah, it was great. It was just beautiful to look at. So
Nice. Strange timing for it to come out, not Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's just like the classic like butts in seats Christmas season kind of mentality.
I guess so, right?
I mean, it's snowing in the movie.
Yeah.
It's Christmas. Snow is Christmas, so that works. That worked for me, man.
All right, cool. My number 7, recommended to me by Chuck Starzenski, Strawberry Mansion.
So good.
I loved it.
Yeah.
It was beautiful in more ways than I can describe, and it was something that I possibly could have made.
Yeah.
At the same time. Very simple, set in one house, great story, just great set design. Loved it. And that's it.
Nice. My number 7, I got Long Legs. Absolutely phenomenal horror movie. Did not really stick the landing for me. But that being said, I still didn't hate the ending. I was like, oh yeah, like without spoiling the movie, like they set up a bunch of kooky woo-woo, like this is probably an alternate reality than our current one pretty quickly. So I forgive it for that. But yeah, Nicolas Cage, fucking amazing. The man definitely misses. And this one is one of those, like, it's so nice when he reminds you that he can act. Like when he's still doing Nicolas Cage, he's still doing full kabuki, but like, you're like, oh, this is him going like Vampire's Kiss level insanity, but grounded.
Okay.
So yeah, Longlegs.
Interesting.
Nice. Right on.
Does Mandy, right?
Yeah, he did Mandy too.
I'm definitely going to check that out.
Yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned the Doesn't Stick the Landing, because I had made this whole separate category of like films where like these could have been perfect 10s. They just like didn't stick the landing. You should still watch them because they're great. But Longlegs was on there for me because I 75% of the film I was like, this is the best fucking movie I've ever seen in my fucking life. And then just like the last 25, I was like, oh, okay, never mind. But anyway, so my number 7, I have again a film that was not expecting to enjoy at all, was not on my radar. I was not going to go watch it. Just wasn't for me. And then once I saw it, I was like, holy shit, that was fucking great. I had Wicked.
Wild.
Right
Wicked, yeah. Again, it's and I guess I just have to pitch it to people like, dude, like even if that's not your you need to go watch it. Like it's great. I am kind of scared that it was more of like an in-theater thing. Whereas like I feel like if you watch it at home, it takes away from some of like the grand, theater, like beautiful spectacle of it.
Sure. I'm curious.
But I'm curious. I'll rewatch it. So I'll see.
I'm curious how different it is from the play. Like,
yeah, and so I know of the play. I know of the play.
More immersive experience.
Sure, I've never seen the play.
Yeah,
I know of it though. So I knew enough of it where like that was another thing. I'm like, well, I know what it's about. Like, I'm not trying to,
But it's been running for like 15, 20 years.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's a good long fucking story.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's also one of those, like, I wonder if it is different at home because, like, I wonder if it's comparable to, like, it's like going and seeing a concert kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just like you need the people around you and the energy.
Right.
Of everyone.
Yeah. Right on. That's a good little curveball there.
Yeah, sure.
My number 6, something I watched recently that is not going to be everyone's cup of tea. It's called Sometimes I Think About Dying.
I know of it.
It's Daisy Ridley, and she's basically the only like big like name actor in it. But it's this kind of meek office woman in the Pacific Northwest, Astoria, Oregon, with Goonies and stuff. And it's like a long. She's just very awkward, but the movie has like very poignant, punctuated moments of surrealism that are just beautiful, and they filmed it in the Columbia Movie Theater in St. Helens, Oregon, where my mother used to be the manager of the theater. So I used to hang out at that theater where they filmed it at.
No shit.
Yeah, that's where
cool.
I saw AI when it came out.
Wow.
So it was like really just awesome. It's like once I figured out where they were, I was like, fuck yeah, I'm totally in the movie. Like I'm just going to watch the rest of this no matter what. And it turned out pretty good anyways.
That's awesome.
And it's just an exploration on living in the Pacific Northwest, really, and just being a depressed person. But Daisy Ridley, you never get to see her do this kind of stuff. And it looked like she was just having fun doing it. But yeah, sometimes I think about dying. I highly recommend it.
Absolutely.
My number 6, I have Rebel Ridge, which Netflix movie. It is a fun, gritty action movie about a gentleman who is trying to post his cousin's bail. And on his way, he gets legally robbed by the police and is going to fight tooth and nail to get that money back.
Oh.
Okay.
It is
asset forfeiture, huh?
Yeah, asset forfeiture, if I could speak. So fucking good, so enthralling, so gripping, so fucking, like, just angering. Like, just the sheer amount of, like, I can't believe they can actually legally do this to you, and they can. It's basically, without spoiling anything, it's fucking First Blood made in 2024.
Rebel Ridge, huh?
Yeah.
It's flipped up in front of me a couple of times, and I've almost watched it. But I'm definitely going to check it out now.
Good.
Definitely going to check it out.
It's like edge of your seat, like fuck. No. It's like, but those are cops, kind of. Like they can do things you can't, sir. Like kind of, yeah.
Who's the lead?
I don't know the actor's name.
Okay.
I wish I did. It was instantly one of those. The second it ended, I like looked him up on IMDb. I was like, why have I not seen him in anything? And then he's only been in like 4 movies.
Oh, okay.
But Don Johnson plays the chief of police.
No, perfect.
He plays like a perfect fucking villain.
I've seen clips on TikTok. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Awesome.
Cool. My number 6 is Alien Romulus.
Hell fucking yes.
Yeah, it was just what a fucking blast, dude. It was just such a fun experience watching that. And again, just, I'm all for, subpar sequels as long as they're not terrible. So I didn't hate, necessarily anything after like Aliens per se. But even I was like, wow, like this is a huge fucking step up. And it's one of those things where it's like fan service, but it's done right.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, like, if it's fan service, good. Like, Alien fans deserve something after all these years.
Yeah. Well, sometimes fan service done bad. It's like where it's like it doesn't feel natural. Where it's just like, okay, like you couldn't find a way to throw that in there, so you just threw it in. But this does it like no, like right. This is here we go. Like this makes total sense. You're like, oh shit, it actually it does. It does. Yeah. It was fun. It was just I was not ready for the third act. Fucking wild. Yeah. Which is hilarious. My wife saw it coming and like I didn't. She's like, well, wait, I think this is going to happen. And I'm like, no, why would that happen? She's like, yeah, because da-da-da. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I guess I can see how that happens. And then it happens. And I'm like, oh my God, you were right. Holy shit.
Yeah, without spoiling the movie, I know exactly what you're talking about, and I fucking love. That's my favorite thing on earth is when my little cynical brain says something, and it's like, well, what if this happened? And then it's like, well, no, that's no way that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You're just being an asshole. And then it happens, and it's like, oh my God, we were on the same page.
Yeah.
From my number 5, I finally watched Oppenheimer.
Oh,
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it.
Hell yeah.
I wasn't. I think I told Javi already. I watched it.
Yeah.
But I'm always afraid of those historical films whitewashing the history. But I think they did a good job in showing the regret and the hesitation and a lot of it, anyways.
Yeah.
But it's pretty good. That's all I got to say about that.
That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
about
Great
that.
choice.
Yeah, my number 5 is I'm gonna push the glasses up here, go full letterbox. I got a French Canadian movie called Red Rooms.
Oh.
Holy shit. You want to talk dark? You want to talk bleak? You want to talk a bad fucking time? Red Rooms. It's about a character who is sitting in on a murder trial. And without diving deep into what the case is or anything like that, very horrific subject matter of the murder trial. And it is basically, it scratches that fucking Silence of the Lambs, David Fincher itch, if you've got it going on. Like, it's so good. It's also, I have never seen a movie that I literally don't think I've ever seen a movie where I don't know the main character's motive scene to scene. The whole movie, I am like, without spoiling the movie, I'm just like, what the fuck is she trying to do right now? Like, what is actual, but like not in a frustrating way. It's like an actual like, oh, is she on this side? Is she on that side? Is she neutral? Is she, so it's just like, and it was like, I was waiting I had 4 twists in my head that I was like, okay, we're going to like, the ball's going to drop here. And then it fucking doesn't. And it keeps going. And then when like the ending comes, you're like, oh, it was like, I thought it was A, B, or C. It was option F.
Yeah.
Okay.
So 10 out of 10.
So 3.
So good.
Nice.
We're on number 5.
Yeah.
Okay. My number 5, and I've been hearing more and more lately of people on the opposite side of me, but I'm just going to say I don't give a fuck, and I highly disagree with what you're saying. My number 5 is Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That was so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I'm a huge fucking, like
It was a good
MCU, like
Yeah.
Dick Rider, but like but even I can admit when like, oh yeah, like I can tell you like off the top of my head, like 10, MCU films that like are not good. I'll be like, I'll be honest, some of those I like, but they're not good. But like Deadpool and Wolverine, I felt like the story was fine. I felt like it was great. It was well done. It made sense. And, I think they did a pretty solid job of not excluding a ton of, the audience that, but also still doing like this fan service, like done right. And still making it like there's actually like a plot to it. And it's not just, like
It was
just happening. Like, no, like
fully entertaining. Like I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I had a blast.
I really liked Nice Pool.
Yeah.
The ponytail, and he's not immortal. Number 4. This is one I've gone on about on the show before, but Corner Office.
Oh yeah.
John Hamm.
John Hamm. You guys got to watch it. it's just it was a COVID movie. You know, like when people had to make movies very limited spaces in one place. You know, everyone's on lockdown and whatnot. John Hamm just being as much of a weirdo as you could like, and it's just good. I just recommend watching it. And him and like two other people are the only people I recognized in it. Everyone else is just a great character actor. But yeah, it's good.
Hell yeah.
Corner Office. Corner Office.
All right, for my number 4, we're kicking it into we're still bleak, but now with the last 4 are not only are they bleak, but they're oopy, they're goopy, and God, are they horny. So my number 4 is Nosferatu. Yeah,
Nice.
Javi already went into, some depth on it, but yeah, fucking Eggers doesn't miss. So good. I will say, like, no spoilers. The thing that caught me off guard the most was just the language of the film. Like, to put it how Sam Coughlin said it when I saw it with him in theaters. He said, we just watched Robert Eggers' version of Shakespeare. Because it's just like, the language is so rich. They're like just couplets and like little like bits of dialogue that are just like, oh, God. It's like scratches that little poetry itch. So yeah, 10 out of 10. Nosferatu.
Right on.
My number 4, it's a good one. Literally, it is good one. This was one that probably not a lot of people saw, unfortunately. But I think I may have brought it up before, but it's just, to me, one of the best examples of the year in terms of how to write. Like, the writing is so natural. Just as like a writer, like, this was one of those where I saw it and I was like seething at the end because I was just like, I'll never write something this good. It's just flows so smoothly, and it's just like the act, and again, props to, I'm sure, the actors and the actresses in the film, because like it feels like I'm just watching a real conversation, a real. Long story short, it's about a little backpacking trip between the small group of people, and I feel like I'm just watching like a real life group of backpackers like talking. And then it's one of those where, like, again, I don't think this is spoiling anything because I'm not going to say anything, but it's one of those films where the shoe drops at some point.
Yeah.
But like, you'll never see it coming because there's nothing. It's not one of those where, like, a shoe drops, but it's never built up. It's not, you don't see it coming because it and it doesn't change the trajectory of the film per se. But it's done so well, so natural that you're like, excuse me, what?
Right on.
Yeah. And it's
I hadn't heard of it.
yeah.
I'd never heard of it.
Yeah. It's great. It's pretty short too. So it's like, it's an easy watch.
Okay.
I think, and you guys should definitely check it out. Just again, for like the writing aspect of it.
It's called Good One?
Good one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, had not heard of it.
Yeah. Again, I don't think I don't think many people heard about it.
Sweet. Number 3 for me, Blast from the Past, which I had not seen yet or really understood, was American Gangster
Oh.
with Denzel and so many other people. And for me, it was like, holy shit, this is another Heat. It was like all these characters keep rolling in. I watched it, became interested in it because it was the Diddy thing happened.
Yeah.
And Diddy was like the actual main gangster in the movie was like Diddy's like mentor or whatever. But the movie itself came out way before all that shit.
Right.
Kind of got public. But it's just a fucking good movie. It's like I plan on watching it again and again. It's just good.
Yeah, it's so good. I would love, that's old enough to do on the show. Let's do it on the show.
Okay. Yeah.
My number 3, and I'm splitting hairs here because, now, like, we're just, all 3 of these could be number 1. My number 3 is Love Lies Bleeding.
Oh.
By Rose Glass. So fucking good. So perfectly misadvertised.
Yeah.
Like, when I saw the trailer for it, I was like, oh, that looks good. But it's just like, oh, it's woke Thelma and Louise. Is that all this is? Like, that's what I assumed it was going to be. And then it's like, no, we take a hard left. It is a surreal masterpiece, is all I'll say, as far as without any spoilers. Like,
Nice.
I did not expect, pretty much like 10 minutes in, it just kept surprising me.
Yeah, that was a good watch. I like that one. My number 3, this is the reason I retracted my statement of the year, but The Brutalist.
Oh.
Yeah. What a great fucking film. I'm just gonna say it right now, but again, I'm a little biased. Did not feel like 3.5 fucking hours.
Right. It's a long one.
It is, and even I was like, okay, well, that's probably gonna be the longest thing I've seen to this point. But no, didn't feel like it. For sure, hefty, but did not feel like 3.5 hours.
Is it the Adrian Brody architecture
Yeah.
one? Okay.
Gave me like newfound like just interest. Like I'm like, oh, I'm kind of like want to look into like architecture and stuff like that. I've never really thought about it before.
There's plenty in the UK. If you go look at the,
Yeah. Like always been like, oh, it's a pretty building.
council
Like I
houses,
can just appreciate like, oh, it's a beautiful building. But like now kind of like, I'm more interested now in like the history of like architecture styles and stuff like that. I'm like,
If you ever get to UC Santa Cruz, most of their buildings are brutalist.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting juxtaposition with the forest.
Yeah.
That it's inside, and it's like just big slabs of concrete.
hell yeah. Yeah. Adrian Brody's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah. I was going to ask, have you guys seen The Pianist? Remember that one?
I have not. No.
That I recommend. That's like on level of Saving Private Ryan. Good wartime movie. Yeah. Adrian Brody's underrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope he gets the awards he deserves, but
I was going to say underrated, maybe perfectly rated, because I feel like people like him. But yeah, definitely.
I'm always blown away by what he does. So I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, you
I
should.
did see the preview.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely awesome.
Yeah, that's high on my I missed it list.
Yeah.
Yeah. My number 2 is Poor Things.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
What a fantastic joyride! Just and I don't even remember it well enough to say too much about it, but I just remember being blown away. It stuck with me. Definitely want to watch it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like I haven't seen something that artistically done and successfully executed in I don't know how long. And that's why it's my number 2.
Great pick. Yeah.
Yeah. Phenomenal movie.
Yeah.
My number 2 is Anora, which I mean, yeah. Javier's looking at me. It's like it's come down to 2
Yeah.
movies, and if it's going to be that one or that one,
Yeah.
basically, and yeah, which we all know what number 1 is. Then number 2 is Anora. Yeah, what if the Safdie brothers made Pretty Woman? Is what this movie is.
Yeah.
It's like just a gritty, nonstop fucking ride. It is so funny. It is so well thought out, and it is so just like I mean, it just. I was going to say in current times, but it's like, no, this is a story, a very timeless story of just like, yeah, that's story of class and what it's like to get a taste of the good life and know that like it's going to just drip out of your hands like a pool of water. And yeah, so fucking good.
Yeah. Obviously, number 2, same, Anora.
Oh, nice.
We're twins.
Yeah, we are twins. We are
I
twins.
know what your number 1 is then.
I know what your number 1 is. Yeah, I don't have much more to add to that other than, like I wasn't ready for the turn that the film takes, where it kind of like it I don't just say it changes genre, but it definitely becomes, I'll just spoil it and say it becomes a lot funnier. And it's like, holy shit, this is fucking hilarious. I could not, I was like in tears.
And yeah, again, without spoiling anything,
yeah.
that fucking ending.
And then and then the ending gets there and you're like, oh, that's right. I'm watching a great film. I forgot. We have some points to touch on. So yeah, absolutely. Anora.
Very good. My number 1, another vampire movie, strangely enough. I don't know. Let me know if you've heard of this. The Humanist Vampire Seeking Consenting Suicidal Person.
No.
I added that to my watch list and I don't remember why. I think its director directed something I saw recently.
Yes.
Maybe it's even on this list. But yes, I've heard of it.
I think so.
I want to check it out. Oh, actually it is. It's our number 1, I think.
Is it?
I think so.
What's your number 1?
You want to say it at the same
No,
time?
I'm just saying the director's name.
Oh, the director's name.
Yeah. Coralie Farge.
Maybe.
Okay.
I forgot to study.
Okay. Yeah. Go for it. I got you.
No, but this is I hate when I see something this good, I hate reducing it to this movie meets this movie description. But this is Amelie meets Wrist Cutters.
Oh. That sounds like a Luke movie made in heaven.
Yes. I fucking love this. I love just the idea of the title. Just like just drew me right in. But it's this completely everything is not.
No, it's not the same director. No.
Okay, I didn't think so. Everything's flipped in this world. Our main characters is a family of vampires, and this young girl, the youngest vampire, doesn't want to hunt or kill anybody, and she's a humanist, so she's like struggling to like get her fangs until she meets a guy who's suicidal, and then I don't want to spoil any more of it, but it is a fucking roller coaster from beginning to end because of all the tropes that you're used to about vampires, about horror movies, about suicide, all flipped upside down, all And it's like you think you can expect the next one, but you don't. It's different, and it's fucking hilarious. And this is my favorite movie that I've seen.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna check that out.
Thanks for sharing that. Yeah. I said it's on my list. I don't know. I must have. There must be some connection to something else I watched, but
Yeah.
yeah.
It's,
Cool, I'm gonna check it out.
The people who are in it have done other great films.
Maybe that's why.
But they're all French, so it's hard for us to see them sometimes.
Cool.
Speaking of France, do you want to just say it at the same time?
Let's say it. Yeah. What? Yeah, 1, 2, 3. The Substance. Cute.
Holy shit!
I am so happy Demi Moore got an award.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
yes.
blown away.
Yeah.
She got. I mean, she deserves the award, but I was like,
That it
whoa.
actually happened.
How-
That's,
I was
yeah.
like, people like
never?
this?
Well, how did she never get an award for all the other stuff she's done?
yeah.
Yeah,
How? What? That's why I hate award shows. I fucking hate
Yeah,
the
they're
awards,
dumb.
man.
It is insane. Yeah.
For everything from Ghost to G.I. Jane to Striptease. Like, how has this person not won an award?
I didn't even look into it. Has she even been nominated? She must have been. She must have been, right?
I think for Ghost,
G.I. Jane probably got
Oh,
nominated. I'm
maybe.
guessing. I don't know.
but she herself this is her first.
Yeah,
Good for her.
fucking mind blowing. It's one of those. It is a quintessential. Wait a minute, people like this movie? Like, I like this movie because I'm a weird pervert and I like weird drippy like fucking schlocky 80s horror movies. And it's like me and the sweaty guys like with like stubble and glasses hanging out in the back of the video store. Yeah, we like this movie, but like people like this movie?
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw this in a movie theater in the middle of the day, and it was like half full. And the movie had been out for like a couple weeks already, but the movie theater was still half full. And I just was so taken. I was taken out of the experience 3 times by just looking around, being like, there are people sitting next to me. I'm seeing what I'm seeing on screen right now, and there are people sitting next to me, and no one's walking out. Mm-hmm. Mind blowing.
Yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah. I immediately, the first thing I did as soon as I walked out of the theater was to call Chuck. I was like, hey, Chuck, I gotta call you real quick. Like, you got a second? And, my poor, worried buddy was like, oh my God, I hope everything's okay. Like, yeah, what's up, man? I'm about to go to work, but like, what you need? I was like,
I assumed he was broken down or gotten kicked, thrown out of his house, or like something terrible had happened. And it's just like, oh, you have to see this movie. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, sure.
no, Chuck, you don't understand. You need to watch The Substance yesterday.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I will, buddy. But yeah, just again, was not expecting it. I saw no marketing for this film other than just like the literally 10-second YouTube ad. That's like, the fucking techno, The Substance.
Yeah.
And I was like, Demi Moore, like techno, like let me go check that out. Yeah. And I have been recommending it nonstop to everybody all year. You need to go watch The Substance. You need to go watch The Substance. And I will be doing that for the remainder of God knows how long.
Yeah. I can't wait to rewatch it. It's on that list of like, there's so many movies that I haven't rewatched because I'm scared that they're not going to be as good as the first time. But I'm like, this movie is supposed to be watched at 1 a.m. like by myself, kind of like, or like 1 a.m. like with a rowdy crowd kind of thing. And so
I'll watch it with you.
I can't wait. Yeah. I don't know if you're going to like it, but I would love to watch it. It's
As I understand it, I think I might like it.
I think you will.
Okay.
I think you will.
yeah. I mean, it's so well done.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's so.
Well, here's the thing that the thing I dislike about a lot of body horror movies is the lack of motivation for doing that stuff. Mm-hmm. But this movie has the motivation to do that stuff, and I can get behind that.
Yeah.
A lot of the other ones I just like don't get into are just bloody for no reason.
Yeah. Schlock for the sake of schlock, or gore for the sake of gore.
Yeah, and it's like I don't need to see that. Like I'm not entertained by it. But this seems like so much more than any of those other ones. So
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is The Substance watch party.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, for sure. Definitely down. Speaking of watch party, thank you everyone who's listened to us over these past 2 years. All of our listeners, all of our people, all of our friends on Instagram who have recently joined us and have been following us and joining us over the past couple of years. We do appreciate all the feedback we get. You guys have anything else you want to add?
No, just excited to do a 3rd season with y'all in 2025. And we already have like a light laundry list of movies scheduled to talk shit on. And I cannot wait. Some of them I've been itching to do. Some of them have been back burners for a while that are just like, oh, well, we can't do that one because we need to get this person on the show. Or like, oh, this person's been pounding and hounding to get on the podcast to do that episode. And so excited for those ones to happen.
Absolutely. For those, loyal and the unloyal listeners as well.
You know who you are.
You are few, but you are mighty. We're not going to let you run our show, to be honest, right? But I mean, let us know what just shoot us some ideas. Let us know what if we're just missing that little extra oomph, and we'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do. We're open to feedback, suggestions.
Yeah, we've got some ideas for opening up more input like that this coming year.
Yeah,
we're going to be releasing more shows on Patreon in addition to the ones that we normally put out. So there will be and those we can work on contacting some of our audience and see what they want to hear, stuff like that. We're recording. You're hearing us for the first time on our new recording equipment, so hopefully it all sounds better.
Cleaner, crisper, easier to edit.
Yeah, there'll be less problems in the future. We won't have to put two people that hate each other on the one microphone.
that was fun. I could do that again.
Maybe we'll just tie people together and see how it goes.
I got a taste of death, and now I'm itching.
But that brings us to the end of our podcast. Thank you for listening, if you're still listening. I've been Luc Londe.
I have been Chuck Starzenski.
And I have been Javier Martinez.
And we have been the Nostalgia Killers.
Bang, bang.
Bang, bang.